what I like? I like that there are people in the chat who are complaining about the music. Of course, it's Addy Pie who says, "What awful 13." I'm just done with music snobs. Music snobs are worse than game snobs. They're worse than movie snobs. They are absolutely the worst. And yes, this is a show mostly about games, but I'll tell you something else real quick. We got to have a quick conversation about Taylor Swift. Look, let's be clear on this. Yes, she put... Oh, you're not trying to help... Addy Pie says, I'm trying to help you, brother. Fuck you, motherfucker. You want to help me? Shut the fuck up. How about that? Listen. Okay? Nobody gives a fuck about your taste in music. Nobody gives a fuck about your taste in the goddamn cockadoodie music. Nobody thinks that just... Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This isn't that movie Grosse Point Blank and... Nobody cares. Fuck you. Taylor Swift's new album came out this weekend. And of course, now it's officially the time for everybody to tear her down. People are such assholes. It's a fine album, whatever. It's okay. It's not her best in my opinion, but who gives a shit? Now it's time to just, that's what, aren't we just tired of being tribal fucks? I am. I'm tired of it. I see the paper dancing. I'm just fucking sick and tired of it. This is what we should all go back to, though. I want to tell you one thing, then we'll start the show, because this is crucially important to all of our educations if you want to know where to go to get the best music in the world. Here you go.
I've been all over town. Where's your Megadeth?
Well, Sade's on sale.
Slayer? Testament? Metallica?
Rod Stewart has a new album.
T-shirts? Do you have any metal shirts?
Hey, you're in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Unlimited has everything you want, and we know
Come on now.
We've got hundreds of import, independent, and domestic titles to choose from. Heavy Metal also has thousands of licensed concert tees in addition to picture discs, posters, and collectibles. We're easy to find on State Street, Saginaw.
Look at that. Come on, if you want to get your metal shit, baby, Rod Stewart, you goddamn right. Anyway, there you go. I found that earlier today while I was prepping the show, and I was like, you know what? That's a nice whole... listen, I'm going to tell you something. When I was... around that age, teenager, a little younger, I was scared of metal because I was raised in the Bible Belt and people told us it was evil. And then you go into the goddamn record store and the album covers were terrifying. I remember looking at there's nothing in the world scary about Meatloaf. I was 12 and I could have beaten the shit out of Meatloaf. But the album's great. Jim Steinman, Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. But you look at that fucking album cover and holy shit, that's just terrifying, you know? There was an album cover from a band called The Fix called Reach the Beach, I think is what it was called. Let me show you what this looked like. It's not that bad, but as a kid, I saw this in the store and I was like, what the fuck am I? The Fix, Reach the Beach. I was like, what the fuck is that? That's creepy. Is that guy's skin pulled off his fucking bones or what? Look at this fucking thing. You know, and back in the day, they had these albums, you know, they were all painted, you know, and they had them hung up on the top of the store and shit. And no, I want a big fucking image. Come on, give me the big image, you fuck. Whatever. You know, you can see it. It's a big thing and it looks like he's stretching and it looks like he's got no skin. Like his skin is removed. Anyway, point being is I was an idiot. I should have totally been into that shit back then. But, you know, you live, you learn. What about King Crimson album cover? I don't even know what that... I know who King Crimson... Let's see. King Crimson album covers. Yeah, album covers used to be the shit. Fuck you, Cosmic Bandito. King Crimson. Give me one real quick. I'll put it up before we get into the show. I'm looking at a bunch of these. These are certainly weird. I'll just put in most terrifying. How about that? Most... terrifying album. I was not much into REM. No, I was very much more into pop music. You know, I was very top 40 fella. I mean, Iron Maiden is okay. Cannibal Corpse looks pretty bad. Look at this one. Butchered at Birth. I would have loved this shit if I was me then. Now, whatever. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying. This is Butchered at Birth, which looks pretty good. I don't know if I'd like the music, but that ain't too shabby. That ain't too shabby. Okay. All right. Whatever. It is what it is. Mr. K says, by the way, happy Passover, Jaffy. It's a good day to remember that you're one of us. You can deny it all you want, but you're going to be right there in the chambers right next to me. Let me tell you something, you idiot. I don't know why people, I guess, but I don't know, maybe the tribe is getting smaller. I couldn't tell you. All I can say is, I don't have a problem if I was Jewish. I was born Jewish. I got the nose, baby. If you think I was trying to hide the ethnicity, I would have had a nose job. But no, it's not that. I don't believe in religion, man. Religion's goofy. That's all I'm saying. Barry in the chat says, I'm the only 21-year-old who listens to classic rock from the 60s and 70s. My son is like that, though. He's very much in 60s, no, but he's 70s, 80s, absolutely, plus a lot of other stuff. Wolverine, Deadpool, Wolverine, whoever gets top billing, who gives a shit. Point is, trailer dropped today, the first official trailer. It looked good. You know, I mean, it's, you know, look, hang on, let me tighten this goddamn microphone. God damn, this thing won't, I can't strip the fucking screws. All right, it'll be fine. Point being, it looks fun. I mean, the breaking the fourth wall stuff is getting old. The multiverse stuff is getting old, but it still looks like a blast. It looks like a great fun time at the motion picture show or on streaming, which is probably where I'll watch it. But yeah, it looked good. I don't know if you guys saw it. The action looks pretty good. I like the director. The weirdest fucking thing about this director is he is so eclectic. He did this movie called with Ryan Reynolds on Netflix called, I think it's called The Atom Project, which was like this E.T. Starman feel-good family action movie, which was really good. He did a movie called This Is Where I Leave You, which is this movie with Jason Bateman and Tina Fey and Jane Fonda, which is totally like a adult drama comedy, which is really good. He's kind of all over the place, but he's also one of the producers and directors of Stranger Things. So I think I like the guy. I like the cut of his Hey Jude. What is that about? What is that song about? I don't think it's what Ted Lasso thought it was about when he's so it's about. Oh, let's focus. Yeah, Real Steel was good. Did he direct that? Real Steel's a good movie where he's doing the robot. He's like a robot fighter kind of thing. Mr. K says, Jaffy, ethnically, you are Jewish. I'm not religious either. I mean, ethnically speaking, I am a mutt. I have Lithuanian Jew, if that's an ethnicity, on my dad's side, and on my mom's, it's Swedish, Native American, German. Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows what I am? 23 and me. Fuck you. Anyway. All right. So what's happening in the world of video games? Listen to this. By the way, I do want to let you know briefly, coming up Thursday is another Lunch with Jaffy. That is for Cult Calypso members and higher. You can either join the Cult Calypso right here on the YouTube, or you can join it over at our very own Patreon. That $9.99 tier, it's cheaper over on Patreon, will go up later today. Lunch with Jaffy, if you don't know, it's basically, we've done this about 10 times so far in the past 3 years. So we're doing it once a month now, but it's basically, it's a shoot the shit. Here was us last, when was it, like 6 weeks ago? That's what a dead body smells like, rotting on the battlefield. Welcome to Call of Duty. It's like, fuck. Can I take this back?
Yes, burning flesh.
There's Spaz down there eating his lunch. I'm eating my... It is totally exactly what it sounds like. It's simply just hanging out, eating, talking, watching trailers, shooting the shit. Hour and a half of just hanging out. There's no structure. I'll bring some topics. But if you're looking for a more... Let's just put it this way. If you're looking for a more intimate time with your old Papa Jaffy, this is the place to come do it. That's Thursday. But seriously, here on the Patreon, consider a membership so you can hop into the Lunch with Jaffy crew on Thursday coming up. I'll get you the times pretty soon. I don't think that's the flex you think it is, a cab. A cab in the chat writes, we're going to have lunch with your body. I mean, what? Is that supposed to be creepy? I don't understand what you're talking about anyway. Also, coming up later in today's show, if you're a fan of the horror, and you're a fan of the PS5, I've got 3 codes directly from the publisher developer to give away of Dementium the Ward. You may know this game from the 3DS. It was Renegade Kid made it. I think they're called a TUI now. I really like this game. This is the port from the 3DS. I played a little on the 3DS. I could never get used to those fucking stylus first-person shooter controls kind of thing. But this is now running smooth as butter, obviously, on the PS5 with a DualSense. It's pretty good stuff. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm really, really enjoying it. Is it the world's best survival horror game? No. Let's set expectations, boys. This is a B-level matinee movie kind of game. It's got some scares. It's well made. It's fun. It's engaging. I've been up to this weekend. No rest for the wicked. I played a bunch of stuff this weekend, but I have been doing a lot of gaming on this one here. No Rest for the Wicked is from the guys who did Moon Studios' Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't know if you've played it. It is currently in early access only, I believe, on Steam. It will be coming to console sooner or eventually, but they haven't announced, I don't think, the date. I don't know how long they plan to stay in early access, but my experience has been just fucking sublime. This is probably I used to say the prettiest game I've ever seen was Ratchet and Clank, or the recent one. Was it Rift Apart or something? And Horizon Forbidden West on the PS5. This is now officially the best looking game I've ever seen. It is absolutely just visually scrumptious. It is insane. Like, if you're looking at this picture right here, this is what the game looks like. This is how good the goddamn game looks. It's delightful. It's fucking delightful. But a lot of people have had problems with it over the weekend. This is a story. It's sitting at this weekend it was a 58 on recommend on Steam. Most of the problems have been technical, and it's a very, I wouldn't say that this is the next crisis at all, but it definitely has been hugging and chugging for a bunch of people on their PCs. It has since dropped some patches. It's gone up to a 66% from a 58, which ain't too shabby. And it's early access, right? So some of the things people have complained about are the performance mostly. They've complained about you can't change the key bindings. They're working on a bunch of those things. It is getting better, but I'm playing it on GeForce. And GeForce now is, the top of the line computer you can get for the most part. It is delightful, and boy, it is good fucking stuff. A cab says not another Souls-like though. Well, here's what's interesting about this. It's got the combat. If you want, let me put the game up real quick. I know you've probably seen it, but on the off chance you haven't, while we're talking about it, you can get kind of a little taste of what this is. I wish my capture and then streaming could show this to you guys at the level that I'm capturing this shit at, but it never does. And in that, I just can't show you how fucking beautiful this thing is. But where is this? I did this weekend. Where's my fucking game? I want to show you guys. Hang on.
Sorry.
Okay, well, that's Asteroids. That's not the game. Remember Asteroids when they pew, pew, pew? Hang on. That's Fortnite. Where the fuck is my shit, man? I fucking downloaded and all that good shit. Is this it? I don't know. Maybe I can't find it. You can go look it up.
Interim PlayStation.
It's good stuff. But anyway, the point being, though, is what's really neat. Oh, maybe this is it. Hang on.
When I level up.
Okay, yeah, here it is. All right, let me put this up while we're chatting about it. Okay, can you see that? Maybe? Yeah, that's live. Okay, maybe that's live. What am I looking at now? Hang on. Okay, that's my screen? Shut up. I'm very confused what's happening now. I think I'm streaming. Okay. So basically what's really cool about this is that, yes, it is kind of not Fortnite. It is kind of Souls-like in its combat, meaning it's very technical. It's very deliberate. It's hard in the sense that it's not like Diablo where you just go in and hack and slash, but you've got to dodge and roll and move and block and figure out the patterns a lot more. What's really neat though about it is a couple of things. One is the top-down or isometric angle. This is probably, from a combat standpoint, I know this is going to sound sacrilegious. This is probably the best Souls game ever at a pure mechanics level because simply the camera. I understand that a lot of people are like, fuck, that's crazy. And a lot of people have gotten really great at playing the Souls games. But the fact that now the camera in a Souls game is pulled back like this allows you to actually succeed or fail 100% based on your own skills. Because it's like in Elden Ring, which I loved, in Bloodborne, which I loved, you're getting attacked from behind. You're getting you're getting all kinds of spells thrown at you that you maybe can start to learn the audio cues for, but it's but this is like, I can see when someone is fighting me and I can see what they're about to do. So it really is no longer an excuse of, oh, that guy attacked me from the back, right? So the visual is great. There aren't the kind of enemy mobs. I'm trying to find a fight that I got into that you see in Diablo. It's usually like 1-on-1 up to like 1-on-4 at most so far. So it's much more deliberate in terms of when the combat scenarios exist. And the other thing that I love about it is once you kill an enemy. Now, again, this is where it deviates from Souls games, and some people may not like it. And maybe they'll have a hard mode. But once you kill a bad guy in this game, he's dead for good. So when you die and come back, he's gone. Your weapons degrade every time you die and come back, so you have to get them fixed, or they lose their ability over time. So that's kind of the punishment for dying, but you don't lose your souls, you don't lose your money. And so what it does is it creates, at least for a player like me, a much better sense of progress. So I don't feel like if this was like Souls exactly in terms of progression structure, I would have refunded it, because every time I die, I would have to go back and fight these same fuckers over and over and over. That is not what's happening in this game. I wish I could, this is my early footage. I've been playing a lot more since this, but anyway, so it is like a Souls, but if you're turned off by Souls games because either they're too punishing, or you feel like you can't really view the combat in order to make smart decisions during combat, I would tell you that this, here you go. Here's some combat right here. This does solve a lot of those problems for you. So, it's good stuff. It's no rest for the wicked. There's also some crafting and building, and, there's some stuff I know that's in there systems wise, but I have not yet, done anything with any of the crafting. So I don't really know how it plays. Or how it integrates into the game. Somebody was saying this is like the original God of War cameras. Yeah, I mean, I would say God of War, the camera was much more varied based on where you were, whereas this is pretty locked. But yes, it definitely is giving you, in my opinion, the best camera for this kind of combat. And then the art is just, again, I know it's not necessarily coming across here on the stream. I'm trying to figure out why it's not, but regardless though, it is so nice looking, and the levels are so, none of this for the most part is I'm going to get off this game. I know if it's not for everybody, but none of it's background like Diablo, right? In Diablo, a lot of the stuff is beautiful, and sometimes you can go down a staircase and you can kind of get there. But in this, everything you see in the distance, there's a lot of verticality. You can explore. There's tons of places to explore. You can climb on almost everything. Like, it kind of feels similar to like old school Assassin's Creeds, where all you do is push the stick and you just kind of move. And it's like, it's so surprising how much stuff is available to climb on, explore, and it's not background. It's actually the world. It's really good stuff. So anyway, No Rest for the Wicked is out right now in early access on Steam. It will be coming to consoles, but I was playing a lot of that this weekend. Obviously, I'm still playing Unicorn Overlord. Like, this is, what's weird is, or telling. I don't know if it's weird, but Unicorn Overlord continues to bring me back, even with all of the other games that are out. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Elden Ring, where even though a bunch of new stuff came out, I would always go back to it. I'm surprised Dragon's Dogma 2, which I love, has not brought me back to it, whereas Unicorn Overlord Lord has. And then finally, I played some XDefiant this weekend. I'll get to the chat in a second. I played some XDefiant, which is the Call of Duty free-to-play Ubisoft game that takes but factions from like The Division and Splinter Cell and who else? Watch Dogs, and there's one other one of their other fucking things. And, you know, I liked this, believe it or not. I genuinely enjoyed this this game. I'm not good at it. The time to kill is incredibly low. Or I don't know if low or high is the right term, meaning this is very much one of those, let's go back to whoever sees the other guy first for the most part wins. You don't stay alive that long, but there's something about it though, that is really fun. I dig it a lot. I was bummed when they cut it. I thought it was going to run till this morning. It ran till sometime at noon yesterday. So I logged on to play again and it was gone. And I was genuinely bummed because I was like, oh, I really dug this quite a bit. It was good stuff. I was surprised coming from Ubisoft, but there you go. I'm not sure when this is out. It was just a server test this weekend. So I don't know when the actual proper open beta or whatever is coming. But it's good stuff. What is Unicorn Overlord is what you're asking. Unicorn Overlord is a game from Vanillaware. It is a turn-based strategy action, or not action RPG. It's an SRPG. And you know, it's what it looks like. You've got a overworld map, you've got the battle map, and then when you actually fight, you go into more of a typical Vanillaware beautiful side art view of the game. Here, I'll show you. What's great about it though is when you actually go into the battles, there's really nothing you can do, right? All of your work is done in this game before the battles. But there is so much strategy and there are so many knobs to flip and switches to turn, knobs to turn, switches to flip, that allow you to make decisions about your characters and their weapons and their loadout, that you have such a, minutia control, such fidelity of control, that when the battles go, it feels probably more like you're like a boxing coach. And you're just standing back now. It's like, I've done all I can. Let's see what happens. It's excellent. I think, this is not on Switch. It might be on Switch, but it is on Switch, but I'm playing it on PS5 because it's on there as well. It's good stuff. Really, Sam? Sam says Jaffy likes every new game. No, come on now. No, I fucking don't. You know that's right. I returned a bunch of games or stop playing. Drive-by Joe, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says, I'm loving Dave the Diver, free on PSN. He puts free in quotes, but you know what he means. Playing with my 5-year-old and she's having a ton of fun. Wouldn't have ever checked it out if it wasn't for you. Well, I appreciate that, those kind words, and I'll tell you something else, and the super chat. Thank you, buddy. But yeah, it's excellent. And I don't know how far you guys have gotten, but what's great about that game is it just continually throws new content, new mechanics, new ideas, new characters, new mission types at you. So it's not a game filled with mini games, but it almost kind of feels like it, because it's like, oh shit, now there's a farming sim. Oh shit, now there's this monster that I have to deal with, who I'm like, I didn't know there were those kind of things in this game. It's excellent. I'm glad you and your child are enjoying it. That's good to hear. Okay. All right, let us move on, my tiny human friends. Where are we at? So listen to this. Let's talk Ubisoft real quick. No. Let's go to the chat. Let me get a drink of the bubbly. Let me press one of these buttons.
You mean you have to use your hands? That's like a baby's toy.
Let me get a drink, and then we'll start talking about some Far Cry 7 rumors that I thought were pretty cool. Hang on. Referable Snail. I did that wrong. The diving and Dave the Diver brings me back to watching my dad play Jaws on the NES. I can see that. I mean, again, to be fair, they're very different games, but you know, there are similarities. Okay. So Far Cry 7, the big news over the weekend, which has since been debunked, which was very believable, was that Cillian is how you say the name, the Oppenheimer fella, the Scarecrow fella from the Batman movies, was going to be the bad guy in the new Far Cry 7 video game. That's been debunked in the sense that the guy who started the rumor was like, I wasn't trying to suggest he was in it. It was more about what he represents. But what has not been debunked, though, are some interesting mechanics for 7. The most interesting is apparently the rumor. These are all rumors, but that it's set on this tropical island in Asia. Can it be tropical if it's in Asia? I don't know anything about words. It's an island and it's in Asia. I don't know. But anyway, it's this island, see? And you're a rich guy with a rich family, and your rich family's been kidnapped, and you got to get them back. You have 72 hours in real time, but that transfers in our world to 24 hours in real time, which is really weird that Ubisoft is like, hey, the game runs for 24 hours. Usually they want to milk you, and it's like 800 hours. But the rumor is it's 24 hours in real time. The timer can be paused if you go into a safe house. It's non-linear. You can rescue your family members in any order. They don't all have to be rescued. Some can be killed, which changes the story. The goal is to take down a group called the Sons of Truth that are kind of like a cult. And to do that, and to get 100%, you need to save all your family members. It also, apparently, there's some sort of interesting interrogation mechanic where you can capture the bad guys and interrogate them. I don't know if there's torture mini games. I don't know what it is in order to get information that you need from the enemy. So here's what I'll say. There was an article, and we talked about this the other day. The woman that was brought in 10 years ago and had been overseeing a bunch of the creative at Ubisoft is gone. And I don't know if she was forced out, if she left on her own, but it's clear over the last year we've been seeing shifts that Ubisoft seems to know they've gotten bloated, they've gotten uninspired. They are no longer what they once were, which was the most creative third-party publisher, at least at a AAA level. And it does seem, if you look at XDefiant, they're taking their time. They're not rushing it out. When you play it, it's pretty fucking good. I'm not a hardcore shooter guy, but the people who are like, for the most part, saying this is pretty fucking good. I mean, there's no creativity there. It's Call of Duty, but so what? I mean, for that kind of game. And then this is starting, Far Cry 7, if these rumors are to be believed, this is starting to look like it's the first Far Cry I will have paid attention to in a long time. Snail X says a Far Cry Blood Dragon 2 would bring me back. I love the first one. I tried to play it again recently and it didn't have the same magic, but I did see something from Limited Run Games. Have you seen this? Limited Run Games, they have an amazing Far Cry Blood Dragon collector's set. I don't think it's out yet, but I was like, fuck, that's pretty fucking cool. Where is it? It's got like little action figures and shit. Look at this fucking thing. Give me a big image, you guys. What's the deal with these small fucking images? Tools, size. Give me a big one. Yeah. Look at this fucking thing. This, and if you haven't played it, this came out, I don't know, 10 years ago. But it's delightful. I mean, it's an 80s throwback to like 80s movies. So many references. It's genuinely fun. I enjoyed it more, like I think a lot of people did, than the actual Far Cry 3 that it was sort of built on the bones of. But here you go. This is the, you can order it now. They just open pre-orders. Who knows when they're going to ship it, but it comes with a VHS tape. It comes with action figures, comes with a little play set, and the game and the soundtrack on an actual cassette, and a book art. I don't fucking know. They do good stuff. Limited Run can get fucked, says, where'd he go? Courtney Williams. can get fucked for how they treat their employees. I don't have any information on that other than I know there was this woman who was fired, but then they've since been bought out. And then I know Doug left. I don't know if he wanted to leave, if he was pushed out. So I know kind of at a very top level, I've interviewed those guys on this very channel. You can find it in the Chat with Geeks section. I can't tell you anything beyond that. They seem like really nice guys. I like them both. But I don't know the behind the scenes of their business, so I can't speak to that. Okay. Let's see. Okay, but there is no Cillian Murphy. Now listen to this. Blink and you miss it. But over the weekend, there was an anniversary. And it was the anniversary of God of War 2018. I want to say God of War 2018 is now, well, let's do the math, 6 years old. Okay. And the reason this stood out to me is that Corey and Corey's wife had been posting a bit on Twitter this weekend. He doesn't post as much as he used to. He's very good about it. He just posts to promote. He's like a real adult, unlike me. He's like, I saw this thing that looked like poo, but it's actually a statue of Jesus. Here, look. He's just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. That's fine. But anyway, I got to thinking about Corey's next game with that in the news that God of War 2018 was out. And I was like, you know, we haven't even gotten an announcement of this next game. So let's assume his next game is announced this summer. It won't be. I can't imagine it will be, but let's assume it's announced coming up in the summer. Okay. At that point, there's probably another year and a half. This guy is going to go 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 years. It's starting to become normal. Look at Ken Levine. The time between releases for video game directors is insane. Like to the point that, I mean, if you're doing AAA, it's just one more thing I hate about AAA development. But there was a guy, I forget what the game was. This was news last week where he had done 2 games and both of them had gotten shelved for various reasons. And then he's like, and so he was a AAA director, and it had been like over 8 years since his last game had come out that was a success. And he's like, I think this one's really going to actually see the light of day. And I'm just kind of like, come on, man. Come the fuck. What kind of a life is that? To be a director. So what I keep saying is, if you want to get into the business to be the next Neil Druckmann, Cory Barlog, Ken Levine, why? You're going to be lucky if you can make 3 games at that level before you die. What's the point? Go indie, go AA, make all the shit you want to make. That's all I'm saying to you. I'm just trying to educate you. Now listen, I'm going to tell you the top 20 downloads of last month on PSN. It's interesting. I love charts, but that's not the main reason I'm telling it to you. When we get to number 1, you'll understand why I want to talk about this. But I'll tell it to you anyway. It's a good point. Cheesework says, look at Amy Hennig. She hasn't released a game in forever. Right. Shit takes time and things get canceled and, you know, good God, no. Carlos Hernandez, 32 months, man. Thank you for that. He says, I saw Corey being mentioned on a Mr. Sunday movie video. It was about Mad Max. I don't know who Mr. Sunday movie is, but I assume he's a YouTube guy. And I know that Corey was working with George Miller pretty closely on a number of things. Mad Max, the game, but he was also, I guess they shared info, and George Miller was kind of a mentor to him when he was considering making the Justice League movie. But yeah, I don't know who Mr. Sunday movie is, but Carlos, thank you, buddy. And more importantly, thank you for your support all this time. I sure do appreciate it, man. Now listen to this. The number 20 game on the PSN last month was EA Sports UFC, whatever. Star Wars Jedi Survivor was 19. And that's just come on to EA Play, by the way. But they've also just raised their prices for EA Play. Whatever. Mortal Kombat 1, 18, 17, Spidey 2. Baldur's Gate is 3 is number 16. Number 15 is South Park Snow Day. I hear that's not very good. And it's clear that didn't do as well as people wanted it to do. Outlast Trials, I played it for a little bit, did not care for it. Love the art, but not for me. Number 14, 13, Grand Theft Auto 5, 12, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, 11, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, 10, NBA 2K24, I want to talk about that in a minute. Rise of the Ronin number 9, not good. Not good. Comes in, well, I guess it launched late in March, so, we'll see. It's first party published video game exclusive. Can't even make it into the top 3 of the hardware. But again, this was early. EA Sports FC 24 number 8, number 7 Tom Clancy Rainbow Six Siege, Star Wars Battlefield Collection number 6. I'm sure this will be gone like the wind next month, given how bad it was received. Poorly it was received. Madden is number 5. 4 is WWE 2K. Dragon's Dogma 2 is number 3. Number 2 MLB The Show, of course, and the number 1 is Helldivers 2. Now, I want to talk about this because there was a rumor this week that there are early discussions, and there's no lock here, but there are early discussions that Helldivers 2 may end up going to Xbox, and that those are early conversations. They could fall apart if you breathe on them wrong. There's no guarantee, but apparently the rumor is there are discussions that are happening at some level about bringing this over to Xbox, right? I think it's interesting. I think it really it doesn't. Addy Pie says, no, listen, it's not even the point. Whether it happens or not, we do have Hiroki Totoki Minoki, Willy Wonka Kostoki, who is now running PlayStation, at least for the next year, taking over where, what's the guy's name? Jim Ryan left off. Yes, we know nothing has been confirmed yet. That's not the point. That's not the point. The point is they should do it. Okay, okay, let's assume for now PlayStation is still very much in the camp of we have to sell hardware. I get it. I absolutely get it. And I understand if they were to say, so we're not giving you guys Spider-Man, we're not giving you guys God of War. I get that. But, if Sony does, yeah, it's exactly right. Tapman, that's right. If Sony has data that says, look, as great as Helldivers is doing for us in purchasing and maybe even post-purchasing, I've only played it a little bit. I assume there's post-purchase options in that game. We're not seeing any movement on the hardware because of it. And in that, why not bring it to Xbox? Why not put it on as many services as you can? If it's not really going to move the needle when it comes to hardware sales, and you're going to make a lot more money, why would you not do it? So I think it's a great idea. Yeah, Gavin says live services are completely different, just like with Bungie games being multi-platform. Yeah, I mean, forget the fact that all the consoles are eventually going away. For now, yeah, I would absolutely. I think people, yeah, like Steven says, Helldivers coming to Xbox makes sense from a financial standpoint, right? And that's what this, Kabuki Minoki has been talking about. He's been saying, look, I love the PlayStation guys. They're brilliant. They're hard workers. They're geniuses, but they don't, he didn't say it literally, but it was betwixt the lines was they're not really so good at the business. And that's not entirely true. I mean, they're clearly great at the business, but in terms of, he's like, look, you guys are leaving a lot of fucking money on the table. And so I could see this happening. I could see this being true. If it's not on Game Pass as Lutron, Xbox players probably won't buy it. I can't see Sony putting it on Game Pass. Maybe they would, though. I mean, I've only played for about 6 hours. I enjoyed all 6 hours, but I hate having to get a bunch of people together to play. Although Mr. K is saying I should do it. It'll be fun. But, maybe, I don't know if there's a lot of post-purchase transactions, or maybe Xbox is like, we don't care. We'll fucking pay you guys here for 2 months. We'll give you $10 million. Just let us put it on there. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. Why the fuck not? Anyway, there you go. Here's another rumor about Sony. Now, this is interesting. Sony Pictures is in talks to buy Paramount. Not just Sony Pictures, but Sony corporate is in talks to buy a company not called Paramount, but a company called Paramount Global. Now, the reason this interests me, assuming that we're sticking with this idea of Sony continuing to make exclusives, is it gives Sony a lot of cool, interesting properties. And in a place where many people who probably watch this show don't give a shit about. But I'm going to tell you about him anyway after I tell Poor Degenerate, thank you, buddy. He's been a member for 21 months. He says, hey, Jaffy, I love you. I love you right back, sir, to the point that I'm going to give you a little bit of sage wisdom. That's not what a cat penis looks like. Do you understand, Poor Degenerate? Do you goddamn understand? Jesus. And finally, I'll say, I'd love to get like a sex worker who's a gamer. That's true. I really would. Listen, Poor Degenerate, thank you very, very much. So, yes, okay. Snail is right. Sony owning Star Trek would be huge. Well, I don't know if it would be huge or not, but it could be huge. Star Trek is not Star Wars, but it could be, especially in the hands of a great developer. I think Insomniac was the first group I thought of to make a Star Wars AAA game. I think, honestly, I know Naughty Dog probably don't want to do the license shit, but I think Naughty Dog, because what makes Star Trek special and stand out is its storytelling, its philosophical conundrums, its sense of action adventure, embedded within a moral, challenging, sometimes nuanced narrative. I would love to see Neil Druckmann do a Star Trek game. I think that would be fucking awesome. But anyway, there's Star Trek for you. But there are bigger things. And then if you look at it from a console standpoint, you get Top Gun. Top Gun is Top Gun's a brilliant movie brand, and I thought Maverick was excellent. I don't know if that necessarily would translate into game sales, but where they really get some goods at a game level is where they need it, man, in their mobile area. I mean, they would also get the Ninja Turtles. Sony would own the Ninja Turtles. I think Larian, assuming they would want to work for a publisher, again, would be a great chain whipping Star Trek developer. Absolutely. But they would get the Ninja Turtles. They would get SpongeBob, all the Nickelodeon stuff. They would get, Dan Schneider to work at place.
No offense, David Jaffy, but that's bullshit.
Oh, I know. But they'd get all the Nickelodeon stuff. But where it really shines for these guys, if they get it, the new D&D movies, I don't know about that, Mutant Mo. There's a lot of things that Paramount has distributed, like the Marvel movies, Razor's Lost Ark, but they don't own the rights to it. Like they've also distributed, I believe, Transformers, but that stays firmly with Hasbro, I believe. Okay, Sony could give us Wordle clone. Now, here's the point, though. You're not far off from it. They need mobile games. They've been talking about expanding their footprint, and mobile is really where licenses seem to matter. They do get Mission Impossible, I think. I don't know unless Tom Cruise's company owns that. Although Tom Cruise has been rumored to come in and take over Paramount, so who the fuck knows? But, Beverly Hills Cop. But the mobile stuff is all of their TV shit, man. The price is right. I went through this earlier. Now I'm just kind of like, there's hundreds of game shows and, CSI Miami and, Ghost Whisperer, Criminal Minds, Gossip Girl, all of these things that Hawaii Five-0 that have been big hits for that audience of CBS, which is kind of the cell phone gaming audience in a lot of ways. And so to get this company for Sony would give them, not development-wise, but in terms of, you slap out a fucking Wordle game and it is Murder, She Wrote Wordle. A Cab says Ghost Whisperer, baby, that's where the money is. You're goddamn right. Maybe not Ghost Whisperer specifically, but all of these fucking old fucking TV shows and current TV shows that get that audience, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, you can make bank off a mobile game. Come on. I'm not asking you to think like a Sony console PlayStation fanboy. I'm asking you to think like an executive who says, my job is to make a lot of money for Sony and mobile games, and I've opened this treasure chest of content that my core audience that tends to play and spend on these games. I mean, imagine a Murder, She Wrote game that's just a hidden object game. It wouldn't cost anything to make, and you'd make good money. It wouldn't be the next Wordle, but I'm just saying this is a good purchase if it actually goes through. It may not go through. But speaking of Amy Hennig, the company she's at, is it Skydance or Sky something? I always get Skydance and the one from the guy who did Walking Dead mixed up. They both start with Sky. They're in talks to buy Paramount as well. So we'll see. They have Dynasty. Come on now. And again, they just have the goddamn Ninja Turtles, a AAA Ninja Turtle game done by Sony Santa Monica. Come the fuck on, man. Now I know you guys are like, Jesus, let them make their own IPs. I get it, but they could still have, a B team making some stuff. Why is it always got to be just one thing? They also have Jack Ryan and they also have Jack Reacher. So, there's a lot, man. There's a lot. I don't think Colbert and the mobile games have a matching audience. They absolutely have a matching audience. Colbert is a late night talk show guy. And if he did if they did like a trivia, remember Trivia HQ, that game that was really big for a while and then crashed and burned? Trivia HQ with Stephen Colbert, not Trivia HQ, but a trivia light game and once a day he does it live and he gives away money and stuff. And it literally takes the man, 10 minutes out of his day and it cost almost nothing to make. Of course it would be huge. As for War of the Worlds is public domain. So, you'd be getting the Spielberg version of War of the Worlds, which was great. But at that point, War of the Worlds doesn't really move the needle from a brand standpoint, I don't believe. Anyway, there you go. That may or may not happen, but that's sort of the talk. Listen to this. Mr. K says, I remember Trivia HQ. Here's where I lost interest in Trivia HQ. I was so into it. And then it was me and my 2 kids and my ex were at the best restaurant in the world, the Olive Garden. And we were all playing and helping each other. And we won. It was the first time we ever won Trivia HQ. And after being excited and curious and, meeting at 3:00 every day to do it together, we finally won. And then we're like, great. And it's like, okay, you've made, because of all the other people who've won, you've made, 78 cents. And once you get to $50, you can cash out. I'm like, I'm not doing this every fucking day. Fuck that. So once you actually kind of realize what you were getting, it was stupid, but it doesn't mean the idea of kind of appointment gaming is a bad idea. EA Japan exec criticizes Japanese rating board for banning Dead Space, but passing Stellar Blade. I only bring this up. Whatever. It is what it is. Who gives a shit? Whatever. So it's going to get an M over there, or a T over there and an M over. Oh, Dead Space was bad over there in terms of a bad hard rating, under 17. Couldn't play it, but Stellar Blade is not. Whatever. That's not what the EA manager's annoyed by it. Blah blah blah. Okay, what are you gonna do? What makes me interested in this though are the days of the ESRB numbered? Right. That becomes the real question that I find interesting, which is back in the early 2000s, Marvel was the first comic company to finally say, you know what, we're stepping away from the Comics Code Authority. If you don't know what that was, in the 50s, there was all the concern about comics being bad for kids. So for the longest time, if you bought comics, you would have this little stamp that you can see on your screen, approved by the Comics Code Authority. And eventually Marvel was like, you know what, we can kind of police ourselves at this point. This is stupid, because I think you have to pay them or something. Well, the ESRB you do pay every time you submit a game. You're sending money to get it rated. I don't remember how much it is. Alexa, stop. So at this point, though, given that most people are buying digital, and Steam doesn't have ESRB. Well, yeah, you're saying it was necessary because of Joe Lieberman. Yeah, I understand that. But that, just like the Comics Code was necessitated by, was it the Hays Code from the movies? There's always a politician behind it looking to make a name for themselves. But Steam doesn't require you to rate your game with the ESRB. They require you to fill out a form that says, hey, this is what's in our game, and in that we think it should be this, and that's what they'll slap on it. And if you're wrong, well, you're going to get, I don't know what the penalty is, whether they take your game away or they ban you from the store. I couldn't tell you. But it's in your vested interest to rate your game properly. I could see eventually game companies going, yeah, we're going to kind of do the same thing. Publishers are just going to have their own thing. And if it's anything that we feel is problematic, we'll label it. Because why would you pay somebody for this? It kind of gives people a lot more fucking power than they need. And I don't tend to like boards like this to begin with. I understand the necessity of it back in the 90s when Mortal Kombat was everything and old people didn't know about video games and all that shit. We're getting to the point now that most elected officials, well, not most, but anybody under 50 knows video games. And in the next 20 years, everybody will be playing video games. And so in the Congress, in the House, all that shit. So I think it's going to be great when this goes away. But I did find it kind of interesting that Stellar Blade, which is, but that's the world, man. Sex is bad or violence is bad. Sex is okay, I guess, is what Japan is saying. But in America, it would be very different. In America, we'd go with the gore and we'd block the sex. Don't ask me why. Fupy says Dead Space is gratuitously violent. In contrast, killing dogs with explosive arrows in Last of Us 2 is insignificant commentary on the human condition. I know you're making a joke, but that's almost the point. The point is that these guys, these guys are just arbitrarily making decisions based on a checklist at the ESRB. And so it's never really going to be fair. Morgan, are you under the impression that I think they're not also talking about violence in Stellar Blade? I'm aware that they're not saying that Stellar Blade isn't violent as well. But they are saying what they're claiming is in Japan, I don't even know where the article went now. In Japan, the reason they're getting away with it is it's a Japanese-made game. But of course it's violent, but you're not going to tell me that Stellar Blade is as violent as Dead Space 2, because it's not. I assume you're talking to me in the chat. I'm not sure. But yeah, in fact, here, let me open it up again. I'll show you exactly what it said, just so we're clear. I read all these fucking articles. Korean, whatever. It's Korean, but it's Asian. It's Asian, man. Where the fuck did it go? I didn't close it. Hang on. I want to find this thing just to prove my bona fides. Yeah. Hang on. Is it here? No. Oh, I know what I did. I did this. Okay. EA Japan exec criticizes Japanese ratings board for banning Dead Space but passing Stellar Blade. The gore that got Dead Space banned is similar, and it's not. It's not similar. This is a horror game that is absolutely over the top, gory. I've played the demo. I've seen let's put it this way. If it turns out that Stellar Blade is as gory as Dead Space, then even though I think that would be great, Sony probably is going to have a lot to answer for because nothing in the ads suggests it is a gory fucking video game. I mean, there's the stuff like when you're fighting the monsters and there's blood, but it's not like Eve, Tacky gets her arm ripped off. But it's not like, it's gory. It's very clean. It's a little bit more bloody than in Empire Strikes Back or even better in Star Wars when Obi-Wan chops that guy's hand off in the creature cantina. But, Wallace is saying showing decapitation is illegal in Japan. I don't know if there's any decapitation in Stellar Blade, but anyway, it is what it is, but my bigger point to bringing all this up is this is the point. This is the point. It's ridiculous. We should get rid of these ratings boards, let the publishers rate them. And if the publishers rate them in a way that's bad, then that's on the publishers, and hopefully they'll get raked over the coals. But I think it's ridiculous these people have to acquiesce to these fucking boards. Fuck that shit. That's my point, Morgan. My other point is look at this old fuck. Here, tell me if my reading comprehension on this story, Morgan, is good. Morgan is, she says, look, here's the guy from Silent Hill 2 when Team Bloober first put out the trailer. And then Konami comes in and says, well, I don't know, man. He looks kind of young. Time should have passed, and our audience has gotten older who grew up with, what's the guy's name? Ethan? So, you know what? Let's make him older so our audience will, connect with him more. And then somewhere along the line, someone, whether it was Bloober Team or Konami, said, nope, he's too old. He's supposed to be 29 forever, this James Sutherland fella. And so now they've made him young again. That's the big story of the day. Who gives a shit? The reason I bring it up is I'm just like, really? Really? This is what we're talking about? When's the last game Team Bloober put out that was genuinely good? No, this is the one. This is the first one. This is the second one. This is the new one at the bottom. He was young. He was old. Now he's young again. But he's not as young as he was here. When's the last good Team Bloober game came out? It's been a long time. Also, when is the last goddamn game in Silent Hill that Konami put out? They've tried to revive the brand. They've done 2 so far. They're both terrible. Right? Like Ascension was junk, and then the note or the letter or whatever that fucking thing, that was junk. So, you know.
Oh, let me tell you something, honey. This is not noise.
That's what I'm saying. I don't, the one on the bottom is I don't care. Lux says the one on the bottom is the original. Oh my God. Look, I don't even know anymore. Look, Silent Hill 2 reworked. Okay, fine. You're right. I'm wrong. Go fuck yourself. 2001 is the bottom. 2022 remake is in the middle. He got old, and then they made him young again. Nobody knows why. Well, that's not true. People know why. We don't know. They haven't revealed it. All I'm saying is, who gives a shit? I mean, seriously. I mean, unless this thing comes out soon or they reveal it like it's rumored to be at the PlayStation Showcase in May, unless this thing comes out soon and just blows us away. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is not the group to be making Silent Hill 2. I'm sorry. Just because you've made a bunch of horror games, a better team to make this, believe it or not, it would have been different, would have been, what are those guys? They just had a bunch of layoffs, but that's everybody. The guys who did Until Dawn, Supermassive, they would have been at least making it more of a commercial Silent Hill. Or you could have gone with one of these weird fucking indie demake, like Puppet Combo and just tried some shit. But none of these guys, this is just production. Propose something interesting with horror. What about the guy who made Mortuary's Assistant? Get that motherfucker. I don't understand, but I do understand. I understand because they clearly don't know what the fuck they're doing at Konami. What's new? Okay. Red Barrels. Are Red Barrels, Kyler, the guys who did Outlast? You believe in them. Why? What is there to believe in? Not Red Barrels. I mean, Team Bloober. What are you talking about? Hell, you should have gotten is get Red Candle. Get the fucking guys who made Devotion. That's one of the creepiest fucking horror games ever made. It's delightful. That's what scared the fuck out of people. You know what I'm interested in? I worked with the guy, I've told you this before probably, but I worked with Zach Woods, who worked with me on Twisted Metal 2012, producer at Sony. He's now leading up Blumhouse, which is, you probably know, low budget but really successful horror. He's leading up their their horror group. I'm excited to see what kind of shit they make, because the whole thing with the Blumhouse philosophy is that they're like, look, man, we'll give creators all the fucking freedom in the world for the most part, but you can't spend much money, right? And you get stuff that's really clever because of that. It's where a lot of artistic horror auteurs go to make their content. I'm very curious if that's what Zach is doing over there. Or if it's like, yeah, well, we can't really do that with games because they'll look terrible. They'll look like indie games and nobody wants that. I want that. I totally want that. You know what I want? I want a fucking Shudder. I want Shudder to launch a video game aspect to their channel. All I want is horror. I want them to get old and new and fund it, and I want it to be indie shit and AAA and AA, and I would love that. I was just a curator of great horror. Who made Project Zero? What is Project Zero? I don't even know what that is. Oh, you mean the Fatal Frame stuff? Yeah, that stuff's pretty fucking good. The recent release was a Japanese indie studio. Well, it was terrible. What do you want from me? It was a stupid fucking game. It was boring. It was boring. I'm not saying just get an indie team, and I'm not even talking about just the fact that you're indie. I'm talking about an indie that gets horror, that's interested in horror in terms of not just wrapping it in a horror sheen or wallpaper, but saying, no, we want to look at the mechanics as they relate to scaring people or making people feel uneasy. That's the shit, man. That's the nut that needs to be cracked that people ain't cracked yet. All right, let's move on. Speaking of horror, would you like to win some video games right now? I'm in the mood to give them away. Kid Renegade made this. Now they're called a TUI. This is Dementium the Ward. This was a game that came out on 3DS. It is now available on PlayStation 5. It plays pretty good on the PS5. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to turn on the red phone. You can call on your cell phone, okay? Okay. I'm going to turn on the red phone. You can call on your cell phone, and I'm going to ask you some trivia. Let me bring the trivia over here so you guys don't see it. And whoever calls in with the answer, and it is not the answer in the chat. It's whoever calls in with the answer, okay? All right, here we go. Here is the first question, and in a moment I will turn on the red phone to get an answer. These are all PS2 era-based questions. And if you win, hit me up on Discord or Twitter, and I will send you the code right after the show. Okay, here is the first question. Anyone and everyone can play. In the game Shadow of the Colossus, what are the protagonist's two primary goals? 619-786-3431 is the number to call. In the game Shadow of the Colossus, what are the protagonist's two major goals? And if someone's on the phone, I won't be able to answer your call, so don't call in. 619-786-3431. Here we go. There are two major goals of the protagonist in the game. Okay, in the meantime, we'll move on to the next story. Why are people writing any of this in the chat? First off, I don't even know if it's correct, but second off, why would you do that? You can't win if you type it in the chat. You have to call. Are we going to get God of War remakes this generation? I have no idea. I mean, I think that could be cool, but I honestly haven't heard anything, truth be told. All right, give me a second. Let me put this up here. All right, here we go. Anybody want to call? If nobody wants to call, I just won't give them away today. I'll give them away next show. 619-786-3431. Are you guys shy? Is that what's happening? Are you guys actually too shy to call in? There we go. That's a real fucking Kid Quest is calling in. All right, hang on. What's up, man? It's Jaffy. How you doing?
Jaffy, good to talk to you, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Do you have an answer for the good people at home? They want to know. Okay, let me ask it again. In the game Shadow of the Colossus, what is the protagonist's primary goal? To two of them. There's two goals for the character. To
bring his love interest back to life.
Okay.
Right.
Let's say that's
or
one.
she's asleep, or she bring her back to life.
Close enough. That's one.
And to defeat the Colossus.
Yeah. How many colossi?
Oh God.
That won't matter. That's not the part of the trivia. But you're right. You got it.
It's like a dozen or more.
16. 16.
16, yeah. It's been so long. I never even played the remake, so it's been since the PS2 that I have played the game.
Understood. Well, you just want a copy of Dementium the Ward. Hit me up on Twitter or Discord, and I will hook you up right after the show.
Awesome, dude. Thanks,
buddy.
This is great.
All right, talk to you soon. All right, there you go. That's how you do it. I don't care if you looked it up. He got here first. Listen to this. Here's the next one. Which PlayStation? No, that one's too hard. This one's easy. I'm going to give you guys an easy one so you stop being babies. 619-786-3431. Here we go. In the game Final Fantasy X, what is the name of the sport the protagonist Titus is a star player in his home city of Zanarkand? I don't care if you type it in the chat. I don't care if it's true or false. You ain't getting it. Oh, ask after they call, says Gavin. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do that on the last one. Here we go. Hey, it's Jaffy. What's up?
Blitzball.
Yeah, you got it. Who's calling? Who are you?
Tony Sheets.
Tony Sheets?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. What's your last name? Tony what?
Sheets. Sheets.
Okay, and you're going to be able to, what are you on Twitter or Discord so I know it's you when you hit me up and I give it to the right guy? What's your
Tony
name?
the Mighty.
Okay, hit me up on Discord or Twitter. I'll get it to you after the show.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Love God of War.
Thank you, sir, on behalf of all of us. All right, last one, whoever I answer. This is a hard one now. So I'm going to answer the phone and I'm going to ask the question as good Sir Gavin is like, yeah, that's smart. All right, so 619-786-3431 is the number. Hit me up and I will read you the question and we will see. In the meantime, let me go to the chat, see what you guys are talking about. I'm not going to read some of those. But yeah, I don't know. What happened to that game developer that conned Sony and had us all thinking they were making a game, says Jay Styles. You mean that horror game Abandoned or whatever it was called? I have no idea. I guess they're still working on it. I don't fucking know. All those goddamn rumors going around, man. But it ended up being absolutely nothing at all, which is crazy. Okay, we got one more call, 619-786-3431. In the meantime, let's move on. Let me see what we got up on the docket. Why would you get nervous, Gravedigger? Don't be a fucking baby. It's just me. Good God almighty. All right. Well, here's what I'll tell you. I'm going to give it one more minute, and then that's it for the day. I'll give the next one away next show. 619-786-3431. I'm going to hold my breath. If I can hold my breath long enough, isn't that great? Twitch, Twitter, YouTube streaming. And if I run out of breath before the phone rings, we're done with the segment. Did I hear about that? There we go. Hey, it's Jaffy. Who's this? Hello.
This is Sam.
Hey, Sam. How are you?
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I am great. Are you ready for a question?
Yeah, sure. Let's do this.
All right. What is the name of the main protagonist in Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty?
Naked Snake.
Nope. Thanks for trying. Call back next time. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. He is wrong. 619-786-3431. It'll be a different question this time if you call, but, see what you can do. But it was Raiden. That's right. It was Raiden, which pissed off a lot of people, which I get. 619-786-3431. All right, here we go. Kid West, you can't win twice, baby.
Hey, am I allowed to double dip? Can
Nope.
I call again?
Nope. Thanks,
Okay,
bud.
goodbye.
All right. Hey, it's Jaffy. What's up?
Kid West, you can't win twice, baby.
You got to turn down your computer. Talk to me on the phone, not the computer. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, this is Jaffy.
Yeah, you got to turn down your computer. You're listening on a delay.
Okay. Let me turn it down.
Okay.
Yes, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you great. You ready for a question?
Yep, sure.
All right, here we go. Which PlayStation 2 game series involves traveling through time to save the world from a time-traveling antagonist?
Which PlayStation series
PlayStation 2 game series involves traveling through time to save the world from a time-traveling antagonist.
Oh man, why do I was thinking Blinks the Time Sweeper? Time travel. Oh my god. Damn, PlayStation 2 game. Oh man, you took it back. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't get
No
it.
worries. All right. Thanks for calling. Call back next time. We'll do this again later. All right. Bye, buddy.
Okay.
All right, man. Next, I'll give that one away. That was the Chrono series, Chrono Cross, Chrono Trigger. We got one more question. I would never be able to answer this question. I don't fucking understand what the fuck it's asking, but I'll read it. I had ChatGPT make these up. It wasn't Time Shitters, though. That was Chrono. Okay, last one, 619-786-3431. And then we will take a small break, and then we will move on to the second part of the show. It is 2 PS2, Blackjack. Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross especially, was on PS2. Chrono Trigger wasn't launched on PS2. That's not what the question was. Oh, did I fail? I didn't fail, you shit. Look, I'll show it to you, I think. Hang on. Chrono series on PlayStation. All right, here we go. Chrono series. Blah, blah, blah. Series began in 95 with Chrono Trigger, which is available on PlayStation. Chrono Cross was developed in 99. That's also on PlayStation. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, you're saying that Chrono Cross is not on PS2? Hang on. It's right here. It's on PlayStation 2. Jesus. All right, you want one more? I got one more if anybody wants it. 619-786-3431. If not, we're going to take a small 5-minute break. We're going to come back. Here's what was on the other side. I want to tell you what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about a weird patent Sony just filed. Well, there we go. Let's see what we got. All right. Hang on. Hey, it's Jaffy. What's up?
How you doing? I'll give this one more try.
All right. Who is this?
This is Prince Green.
Oh, cool. Hey, Prince Green. All right. Here we go. The question is, which PlayStation 2 game was notorious for its difficulty and is often cited as one of the hardest games ever made?
PS2 game. I gotta think back. The hardest difficulty, PS2. No, Braid is 360 era, PS2.
I would not have known this answer. I never heard of this game.
I'm just gonna have to say, you know, for some reason I was thinking God of War. But I'm gonna say it has to be either between Ninja Gaiden or Devil May Cry, but I'm going with Ninja Gaiden.
It's a game called you know what? I'm going to give you another question. It's a game called I Want to Be the Guy. And it is on PlayStation 2, but I'm like, what the fuck is it? So fuck that. We're not doing that. I'm going to give you a better question. You ready?
Okay.
All right, that's not happening. Okay. Here we go. What I'm reading them. Okay. Hang on. All right. In the game Silent Hill 2, what is the name of the protagonist who receives a letter from his dead wife, leading him to the town of Silent Hill?
What is the name of the main protagonist in Silent Hill 2?
Yes. Come on, Prince Green.
No, I'm more of a Resident Evil fan than Silent Hill.
All right, you ain't gonna get it. Thank you, buddy, for calling and playing. We'll talk to you next time.
No problem, man.
All right, one more caller. Anybody want to get one more question in before we go to the break? 619. I like the people in the chat who don't have the stones to call in, but they're like saying, Jaffy, this is wrong and you're dumb. Yeah, call in, you fucking moron. At least Prince Green had the fucking stones to try. 619-786-3431. Here we go. Let's see if this is going to be the day. Is this going to be the day? Hey, it's Jaffy. Who's calling me?
Jaffy, Sam's back. Another loser.
Sam. Oh, you lost last time? Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Which PlayStation 2 game features a group of teenagers exploring a mysterious tower called Tartarus during the dark hour?
It's some horror game probably. The Dark Tower or something. I don't know.
Right,
I'm an Xbox guy. I just
right.
like listening to your show. Sorry.
I appreciate that, buddy. All right, I appreciate that. I'll do Xbox trivia next
You need to
time.
make them more general, Jaffy. They're all PlayStation games.
All right. Let me get you more general. Let me give you an Xbox one.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
All right, here we go. But that was Persona, by the way. Persona 3.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
All right, here.
That makes sense now.
Okay, I'm going to give you some more.
And I want to be that guy. That's a character in Super Meat Boy. Like, that's a character that you're going to like.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
In the game Gears of War, what is the substance that powers much of the tech and serves as a central plot element? Oh, Lord have mercy. Sam.
The substance. I haven't played Gears in forever.
Have you
They haven't released a Gears game in like
submitted for
5
drug
years.
testing, sir? It's Emulsion. Try back next time. Love you, buddy.
Emulsion? Okay, I'll...
Bye. See you, bud. All right, well, I guess we're not... If I don't get a call in the next couple of seconds, we're moving on. I'm going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and now 7 seconds for delay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, there we go. Last one of the day, then we're going to move on. Hey, it's Jaffy. Who's this?
Hey, this is Trent. How's it going, Jaffy?
It's going great. You want a PlayStation or Xbox question?
Let's do PlayStation.
All right, here we go. What is the name of the anti-hero character in the PS2 game Persona 3 who wields a gun-like device called an evoker?
Can you repeat it one more time?
What is the name of the anti-hero character in PS2's Persona 3 who wields the gun-like device called evoker?
Oh, man, I know one of his buddies is like Junpei, but I tried, Jaffy. I tried.
Let me give you another one. I want to give this away. It's a good game. Here you go. What is the name of the protagonist in the series where you play a character who is a half-demon demon hunter?
Half-demon demon hunter. Onimusha?
No. I tried, sir. I tried.
R.I.P. Have a good one, Jaffy.
All right. I'll give it away on the next show. Okay, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a 5-minute break. I'm going to put this up right here. If there's anybody in the Discord that wants to jump on and entertain people for 5 minutes, I see some. Let me go to the Diet Soda Soldier room, see if they want to talk to you guys. Hang on. Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Listen, I'm doing a live stream right now. Will you guys talk to the chat while I take a 5-minute break? Look, I'm a businessman.
Why you
know,
muted?
I'm trying to make some fucking money. What's that? Can Spaz hear me or
It's
no?
a business.
Are you still
man.
streaming, Jaffy?
Oh,
You're
I
muted,
see.
you know.
I see. All right, you guys can hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Listen, I'm taking a 5-minute break. I'm streaming. Can I put this audio track on so you guys can entertain the chat for 5 minutes? Can you hear me?
Wait, are you
Look,
still streaming?
I'm a businessman. You know, I'm
I
trying to make
clicked the
some
link and
fucking
it was
money. What's
that
that?
end stream.
What's that?
I clicked the link on Discord and it wasn't working. It said the stream wasn't going on.
Oh no, I'm totally streaming. But are you? Can you
posting the wrong link again?
Probably.
Like always.
Listen, I'm taking. Can you entertain the goddamn chat?
Fuck no.
Okay, so you guys cannot hear Spaz in the thing. All right, I don't know if they can even hear you. That's going to go on my gravestone if I ever had a gravestone. If you'll suck it, you'll touch it. Come on, you know it's true. What the? That was pretty good. That was pretty good. All right, well, I guess it's not working. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, y'all.
All right.
All right, well, I guess can you guys hear me in our chat? Morgan, fuck off. I'm tired of this confrontational bullshit. She says, Jaffy, why are you taking a break for a 1-hour stream? First of all, we've been going for 90 minutes and I'm taking a 5-minute fucking break because unlike a lot of people, my streams are nutrition packed with data and conversation and giveaways. So yeah, I may need to piss. I may need to get some sugar in my goddamn brain, especially because, listen, Morgan, if that is your real fucking name, we're going to be coming back and talking about a Sony patent. We're going to be talking about some Stellar Blade. We're going to be talking about a game that you're probably familiar with called Bunny Garden. Yeah, I bought Bunny Garden this weekend. Why don't you go look that up? Why don't you go fucking look that up while I'm taking a break? We're going to be talking about Kotaku telling us what we can find sexy. We got a lot to do on the flip side. Okay, so I'm just going to put on a fucking YouTube video for you guys to watch. If anybody comes in the chat and they're like, where's this? Just tell them I'm taking a 5-minute break. Let me put something on that's not going to get me canceled. Well, I'll just delete it later. Let me just go to PlayStation's thing. PlayStation trailer. No, yeah, PlayStation YouTube channel. And I'll just put on a playlist. God damn it. I like the Tales of the Shire thing. That was pretty good. It's kind of like a...
Rated M for mature.
Hey, baby. Here, we'll put on some Stellar Blade trailers. How about that? Okay.
Rated M for mature.
All right, I'm back in 5. See you in a minute.
PlayStation.
The music video today is very sensational. As soon as I heard about this concept and this game and saw all these playing motions, I immediately thought, oh, this will be really fun. This is actually part of me.
Seems like it's a possibility. Feel like I'ma win this game again. See this flawless, perfect victories.
I got very inspired playing Stellar Blade. This Eve character was very feisty and pessimistic at the same time. And I am very like that too.
If it's not one thing, it's another. Guess I'm not surprised.
So I wanted to give everybody that hyper music, cyberpunk vibe. I just wanted to come for everybody who listens to this song. You know, can you do it? You can do it? You really think you're special, huh? And I love all these art, dresses. And I love the dance moves. Dancers are so dope. Stellar Blade, and the project is amazing. It's perfect. That I contributed something in this project is kind of overwhelming. I am a video gamer, and of course, I own PlayStation 5. I'm sure that you're gonna love this game. If you like me, and I'm Stevie, nice to meeting you.
PlayStation.
Rated M for mature.
PlayStation. Cities full as perfect victories. Conjoy, witness the most reality. Insect. Don't want to run and dash faster than you have ever. And dash faster than you have ever. You think you're so special. Get it like a beast, get it like a damn tiger. Get it like a beast, greedy like a beast, greedy like a tiger. Get it like a armed, loaded, baked with it and take it to go. Gasoline. PlayStation.
Hi everyone, this is Sienna Lalau here to show you the official dance for the Stellar Blade Dance Challenge. You ready? Let's go. We're gonna start with this intro, starting with our left leg out. Left hand is gonna be right on top. I'm gonna think about like I'm Eve, putting my foot over somebody I just defeated. I'm gonna use my right hand to come up 4 times from the wrist. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna use the same hand to draw down my face. 5. I'm gonna reach out with that left hand and grab 6, come in, and then I'm gonna pull this right hand around, going 7, 8, 1. Yes, getting into the chorus, this drop is gonna be nice and big, so make sure you have a lot of strength for this. 1, you're gonna shoot out, both hands to the front. My body is gonna go side to side to side to side. Yes, nice. From here, I'm gonna tap my wrists. I'm gonna shift my hips, going tap, 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 up, down, 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 and. This is 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. After 8, you're gonna hear ever in the music. I'm gonna shift my body, turning this way. My hands are gonna go wah, wah, wah. Using my same fingers, ta, 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 to come here. And then I'm gonna shoot this down, push this right knee out. I'm gonna use my next move as a groove, adding a lot more texture between it. 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, a 6. Yes, there's like a nice body roll going, and my knee is always going out, out. Arms down and around at the same time. Cool? From here, 3, ba, ba, 5, 6. I'm gonna step in with this left. My chest is gonna go really big, and I'm gonna go down. Beat, beat, wah, wah. Nice. Ending my look over to the side. This is a bounce, bounce, wah. Very good. From here, I'm gonna shift my body to the front, nice and strong. My shoulders are gonna give a different dynamic change. So from going really full out here, we're gonna change it to now be really smooth, calm, and collected. This is 1,
All right,
2,
all right. We're gonna
3,
start in 2 seconds.
4. My shoulders are just going
What
up
is
and
this
over,
lady doing?
up and
What are we
over,
even
up
watching?
and over.
Fuck this bullshit. I didn't know that was in here. Take this.
Never work better. 가만 눈동자 가는 대로 도망쳐 run and dash faster than you have ever done. Quick 새벽이 오는 중 그 누구도 살아남을 수 없다는 듯. Shit, you think you're so special. Then get it like a beast, get it like a damn tiger. Armed, loaded, baked with it and take it to go. Gasoline, diesel, ain't a picky eater, I'm good to go. Enemies, allies, run all over the system. Missing data, thought of never found it. Seems like it's a possibility. Feel like I'm gonna win this game again.
I can tell you is the last time I said, Arthur, that I like Asian women, people were like, that's racist. I'm like, okay, you know what? Fuck you. I can't tell you what I like when it was brought up in context of the conversation, then go fuck yourself. Because I do. I do. All right. Welcome back to Gabbin' and Games. Appreciate you being here for part 2 of the show. See, Mission Impossible, I don't agree with. I see you guys in the chat that if Sony ends up acquiring Paramount Global, I mean, I like Mission Impossible, especially the latest and greatest ones. But I'll tell you that I'm not entirely certain that that brand from a video game standpoint. I mean, why would you pay for it? You know, it's not like it gives you anything. The characters are all very generic, almost by design. I mean, Ethan Hunt is, you know, if he didn't look like Tom Cruise, he would just be, there's nothing to it, you know. But there is a lot that they will get if they get Paramount Global. Gaming Nating, Sony is also working with another company to make the buy, is the rumor. It's Apollo. Not Apollo Creed, but an investment firm called Apollo. So they would be kind of splitting the cost. They could make it into their own James Bond, says VY. No, they really couldn't. Because if they could have, they would have. It was called Triple X. Remember they tried Triple X? I'm not suggesting that I mean, I love those movies. I'm just saying that Ethan Hunt is not really James Bond for a younger generation. No one's, you know, talking about, I want to be Ethan Hunt for Halloween or something. But I'm not knocking those films. I love them. They're great. But I think they're great because of the stunts and how good they look and, you know, the budgets and all that shit. But it's not, I don't think it has the intellectual property juice that I think something like that needs. But they do have a lot. I assume you're kidding, Morgan, but you wouldn't be the only one who would not be kidding when you say, who is Ethan Hunt? Right? Yeah, I mean, he's the protagonist. Okay, look. I bring this up for 2 reasons. This is the story that's dropped earlier. This is Sony says, you know, it doesn't mean this is going to come to light, but it's a patent Sony has filed that will let AI take over your game and play an approximation of your play style. So it will try to read what you've done and take that into account, and let the AI play for you if it's a part of the game that is grindy or boring. So I bring it up for 2 reasons. One of them is the obvious thing that people are going to say or should say, which is, why are you trying to solve the problem of how to get away from a boring part of the game versus just making sure the game isn't boring? Or better yet, making sure the AI, if the AI can recognize your play style, it can recognize the fact that you're probably, you know, being bored and getting less interested and playing less. So why don't you just let the game cut that part out, right? I mean, it's a much bigger issue that a lot of these things are trying to solve. There was another patent recently that was kind of similar, but I don't remember the specifics of it. I remember Alone in the Dark on PS2 or 3 came out, and it was the first game I ever saw, and I haven't really seen a lot of people follow suit, where the game was broken up like a DVD chapter. So even though you could turn on the game and go to the final boss if you wanted to, or you could, you know, you could be in chapter 4 and you could say, 5 is too hard for me, I'm going to go to 6. I understood the point. Obviously, there was a lot of things that needed to be solved to make that into something really special, and it hadn't been solved yet. But I do think there is there is an you know, all of these things are interesting responses to the fact that everybody games differently, and not just it. You know, it's not like a movie where you're kind of a captive audience and you can show it to a lot of people, and it's somebody may or may not get this scene as much as that scene, but they're not going to go, okay, this is confusing, I'm going to walk away. Because if that happens, they just recut the film or change that segment of the movie. Games don't have that advantage, and I understand them trying to solve it. Sony, as games started to creep up in budget, tried to solve it in a way that I found terrible, which is they got rid of pretty much all the puzzles in their games for the most part. It used to be you could actually, like in God of War may have been the last, the God of War series, 2008, 9, 10, may have been the last time you could get away with putting a real puzzle in a AAA game. And then after that, it was like, oh, people are being stuck. I remember it was Uncharted 1 or Uncharted 2 where I went into this room and I was looking around for a solution. And after about 3 minutes, the game was like, that's enough. That's enough. And the camera just pulled away from me and went up to the roof, which is where I needed to look in order to solve the puzzle, right? So that was a real problem then. And so I mean, ultimately AI will solve this for us in that it will adjust the game in real time. That's already happening, but it'll be much more personalized. But this is almost like, it almost shines the light worse than doing nothing. It's like if you've come to a part in the game and you're bored and your solution is let the AI do it versus just letting me skip it, why not just let me skip it at that point? I mean, seriously, why not just say, like I'm at a part in Elden Ring and I'm okay pushing through it, blah, blah, blah. But there are parts in games where I've been like, I'm good. I don't want to spend any more time. Why not just say, hey game, I'm ready. You sure? Yeah, I'm ready. Okay. You push me over. How much percentage do you want to solve? Okay. We'll move you there. Why not do that? Because it seems better than this. This is just like, why aren't you playing your game, Jaffy? Oh, I am, but the AI is doing some shit I don't want to do right now. It'll be another 45 minutes. I don't understand. But again, it's just a patent. But ultimately, AI is going to make all this better for all of us. But I do think it's interesting. So Sony clarifies the autoplay feature would use the AI and train models to decide what to do in place of users. When the game is done grinding for players, they can continue autoplaying or take control at any point. The patent argues games may find some portions of the games repetitive, which can kill interest. Then don't put them in the game. By using the discussed option, players could easily skip to the fun parts of the gameplay. What? Well, just don't make them all fun. I mean, it's almost like admitting, yeah, we know we've put padding. It's like we have to put padding in the game so we can charge more for it. We want to charge more for it because games are more expensive, in part because we have to put more padding in the game. It takes time. But now we're also going to make something that lets you skip the shit that makes the games too expensive in the first. That's not the only reason, but it's annoying. It's annoying. The most interesting thing is the cloud gaming system, says Lutron. What is that? I don't know what that is. Nomad says he's playing the Mad Max game lately, and if AI could add patrols or add extra cars to increase the intensity. I mean, that's ultimately, some games have explored that, and there will be more of that coming. Like this. I mean, if you're playing a game and the game recognizes, okay, he's kind of getting bored, let's move it along. Move it along, my friends. It's like having a dungeon master, or an editor. It's excellent, but we're not there yet. Okay. Pink lemonade. Yeah. Listen to this. I saw some people in the Discord going, I don't understand. Colin Moriarty is selling Moriarty ray gun merch. Jaffy, where's your fucking election merch? My election merch has been on the site for a very long time. Thank you very much. If you're curious, if you're interested, you can go over to the Streamlabs, the merch store. Let me know if you want a link. You can get yourself a Calypso Charlie Kane 2024 election cap or a Calypso Needles election cap. You can also get yourself a Sweet Tooth Ice Cream Treats cap. And there's only 18 edition shirts left. There's one in black, yellow, one in white. I'll show you what it looks like. This is a band, Charlie Kane's Twisted Son. And you can get the t-shirt, the 3 months in the Nut House tour, and you can go to all the places that they played last January. So that's all happening right now if you want to acquire. But don't come at me and say I don't got no election merch. I've had this shit up for quite some time, my friends. For quite some time. Okay. let us move forward with the show. This was interesting. The Stellar Blade team, which comes out this week. Yes, I will be buying it. Yes, I will be playing it on stream. They put this out about a week or so ago. They said, we're so grateful for your love of the game. To enjoy the main game properly, please go easy on the demo. 50 plus hours of demo play. We're scared. Now, at first, when I saw that, I was like going, Jesus, are people that fucking horny as fuck that they just can't stop playing the demo? Then I realized, oh, this is what's happening. I guess all this shit transfers over, right? So there's one guy, this was a story on Games Radar today. He played 60 hours of the demo, maxing Eve's skill tree out before the action RPG even dropped. So he just repeated. He told you how to do it. He's got most of her skill tree unlocked now. He says it took 2.5 days of just repeating the same level over and over. But now when the game comes out, he'll be ready to basically play the new game plus almost immediately. I mean, the number of people who are going to do that, I don't know. I'm probably going to wipe my save and just start from scratch anyway. I've enjoyed what I've played. Did you guys play it? What did you guys think about? I almost defeated the bonus boss. I obviously got through the core demo, and then they have that boss rush mission, which was a lot of fun. But they unlocked so many mechanics at you that were available now, and I get why they did that. But it was like, I don't know what anything does now, so I ended up just like, fuck it, I'll just wait till the game comes out. I feel like the game won't sell, says Gaming Nating. The only reason I know what Stellar Blade is because people are getting pissy at character. I don't think the game is going to sell what some people think it's going to sell. I think it's probably going to be much more successful than Rise of the Ronin, unless the reviews are just, equally meh. But I definitely don't think this is going to be some kind of moment where the gamers prove, see, we want hot chicks in games. I think it'll sell at best like a Devil May Cry game. And the Devil May Cry games sell well, but they never sell brilliantly. I mean, these are still niche games. Devil May Cry sales, let's see. So 29 million across the whole series, right? But if we just look at individual, and these are hard to find, but Devil May Cry 5 has sold 6 million units worldwide, right? Which is nice, but it's not the kind of nice you need unless the game budget was pretty fucking low. Yeah, I know, I get it. But again, I mean, if you're Darth Nugget says it's only on PS5, you got to be realistic. Sure, but you're talking about a system that is able to sell, 10, 15 million copies of certain things. I don't think this will be there. I don't think it's going to bomb, but I definitely don't think it's going to be this massive hit that is a reflection of gamers are tired of not seeing sexy ladies in games. Speaking of sexy ladies in games, Bunny Garden. Now, I'm bringing this up for a few reasons. One of which is I saw this article on NeoGAF, or this post. Bunny Garden dating sim, Bunny Girl dating sim, Bunny Garden is a massive hit in Japan, topping digital sales and charts on Steam and Nintendo eShop. Okay. So I'm like, well, what's that? And I went to it and I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy this. I bought it because it's like, oh, it's really popular. Maybe it's people are streaming. It'll be fun to stream. And it wasn't X-rated, right? So I was like, I can stream this without worrying about YouTube violations and all that stuff. It's like a PG-13. You see panties and that's pretty much it. It's more suggestive. So I bought it. And I made sure to screenshot, because I knew the minute I was playing it, because it's on Steam, the Discord, I'm surprised I haven't been hit with people on Discord going, what the fuck you playing, Jaffy? What the fuck is that? But I didn't know what it was. I wanted to give it a shot, right? So I played it, and I only played for about 8 minutes, and I'm returning it. Wait a minute, Ravnos, I'm going to come back to that in a second. Remind me. I only played it for about 8 minutes because ultimately what it is, it's like a visual novel. And what you're trying to do, I remember my boss, Alan Becker, he said in Japan, there's this thing called Nopon Shabu Shabu, which is I guess if you go into these certain kinds of bars and the more expensive drinks are high up, if I think is what it was. And so the girls to reach down, if you order the real expensive liquor, they have to reach up and you can see their panties basically. And I'm like, okay, that's what this is. And I'm kind of like going, well, I'm really asking, I'm not doing a bit. I'm confused. It's like the internet is filled with pornography. It is filled with, unfortunately for people who make a living in that industry, free pornography. Why is, I assume that if this really gets you going, you're there to masturbate, which means, okay, why would you pay for it when you can get it for free? And this you have to work at. Why in the fuck do you want to work until you get a glimpse of panties that may be the moment that your masturbating can pay off? And then you gotta, unless you're doing it with some kind of device so you got both hands free, I don't understand. And it's not even porn with the story cheese works, because it's not porn. It's like PG-13. And again, but I don't even understand that. So VYYC says weebs are desperate losers who want to feel like those anime girls talk to them. I understand. And I'm not judging them or shaming them, but I'm saying, there are better options if that's what you really want. You can go onto a goddamn cam girl site and have a VTuber who looks like these girls literally talking to you. Why, and they'll be naked. I don't understand why you need this. I don't get it. I don't get it. So I'm returning it. I played 8 minutes. I'm fine. I wanted it to be like, I played some of these crazy dating sims before on stream, and those were always fun. But this just seemed weird that this is doing really, really well. Ravenu says weebs are not all desperate. I didn't say they're desperate, but there's no game here. It's literally you talk to them and then you spend money to buy them snacks and alcohol, and then they do this shit a lot. That little, you can't see my face. Oh, that's a good thing. They do that little, I'm so cute thing. I'm like, what is this fucking thing? Anyway, it is what it is. 8 minutes, pretty quick, Nomad, you goddamn right. Listen to this, Ravnos, you fuck. Where did he put that thing? I wanted to read it. He says, Jaffy didn't think Helldivers would sell well. No, I didn't. But not after I played the game. That whole video was about the trailer being incredibly generic and underwhelming, which it was. That's what I was judging it on, and I made that clear in the video. But as the internet does, there's no room for nuance. Darth Nugget says, pretty soon you'll be able to have your own personal AI cam girl who's hotter than any other cam girl and will do whatever you want for 0 tokens. You can do that now. It's a coming, and it's gonna wreak havoc in good and bad ways. On society, right? It is just weird and wrong that they look like kids. I know what you're talking about. I don't think Steven Southwick, maybe you're talking about, what do they call them? The, not kawaii, it's lollies. That's different. I agree with you. That seems very uncomfortable and strange. But I think these look like very, very, very young women. I don't think they look like, I know what you're talking about, but I don't think these are lollies. Lollies are, there, let me Google lollies real quick, but not on screen. I don't know what I'm going to see. 2 L's or 1? Lollies? Japan? Oh, it's just, yeah. Lolly, L-O-L. No, L-O-L-I. Okay. In Japanese culture, lolicon as a genre of fictional media focuses on young or young-looking girl characters. Yeah, I mean, that's what you're talking about. That's very, very different. That's very, very different. Which is still, it's very fucking weird. All right, let's move on though, because the reason I even bring this one up though, this game, Bunny Garden, is again, it's a massive hit in Japan, topping digital sales on Steam and Nintendo eShop. But what happened though, and this is what came to my attention, is this weekend there were streamers playing this, and I was like, oh, it's a stream game, whatever. 4 streamers this weekend banned because they were masturbating on camera while playing this. Finally today, Anonymous has leaked their names. Would you like to hear them? That's right. Lee Perez, Rotten Tanuki, Zach Procrastinates, and Eddie Torres. We're all caught masturbating. They also happen to be the God of War members of this very channel right here, Gabbin' and Games. Thank you, fellas, for your continued support. It means a great deal. It's very kind. It's very generous. Thank you guys for keeping the channel rolling. I appreciate it, fellas. Thanks so much. Okay, now let me tell you something. Hang on. Kotaku wants to... Now, this is weird. I wanted to hate this article. And I kind of hate this article. But I still have to say there's some interesting points to it. Kotaku says, Hades 2 is the kind of hot we need right now. And at first you're like, you're right to kind of roll your fucking eyes. Because it's like, shut the fuck up, Kotaku. And maybe it was written with that in mind, to get people to be upset about it. Because it's like, okay, so now not only are you telling people that sex in games or overt sexuality in games is bad, but if it's done the way we tell you it's okay, then it's acceptable. And I'm like, come on, man. So at first I'm just like, this is disgusting. This is such obnoxious horseshit. And I'm the most liberal, progressive motherfucker you guys know. And even then, I take issue with this, right? It says, despite what certain corners of the internet might believe, there isn't a lack of attractive people in modern video games. I agree with that. Baldur's Gate 3 just set Game of the Year award records, and that game was full of hotties. But when compared to something like Stellar Blade's Eve, the standard bearer for the latest gamer culture war, the manner in which Hades depicts its characters and their attractiveness is fundamentally different. And then it just basically goes on to say that, and again, this is where they're not wrong. They're not wrong about this, which is in Hades 2, they say everyone is horny for each other, and thus it feels far less leery and creepy. These are sexual people in the game, gods who were infamous for their rampant and often unchecked desires. Aphrodite, goddess of sexual love and beauty, would be naked and have pink hair down to her ass crack. There is a smorgasbord of sexiness on display, not a single decidedly straight male oriented take on attractiveness. That's obnoxious. Fuck you. But beyond that, though, it talks about how these characters know they're sexual and it's clear that they're owning their sexuality. Whereas Eve, it says, is just blandly attractive. She is the object of desire, not the owner of it. Okay. I mean, there is truth to that. There is absolute truth to that in the sense that, yes, Eve is the product of a straight male who makes a character to be just, leered at and masturbated to. And again, I don't think anything's wrong with that as long as the people involved are doing it consensually. And I do think this article from Kotaku is annoying as fuck. But I also think they kind of do have a point. There is a different mentality, and one could very easily argue healthier mentality. If you're dealing with sexual people or sexualized people in media, and part of their character is an embracing and an owning and a delight in that sexuality. Whereas Eve is very much just there's no reason I'm dressed like this. I don't even dress like this just because I like it and I think it's fun. We're all dressed like this. All the women are dressed like this in the game. They're right. I don't have a problem with it, but at a healthy level, they're right. How do you know the artist that made Hades characters didn't jerk off to it, says V? I don't, but that it doesn't matter. What the article is saying is that regardless, these are all characters that, yes, you can look at and say they are hot and they are sexual, but, well, I don't know, but that's part of who they are, and they know it and they own it and they revel in it. Eve is, and again, I'm not saying Eve shouldn't be in existence. I'm excited for this. I like sexuality like this in media. But I think you would be just being in denial, or if you looked at her and you said that is also part of her she's aware of it. I've played the demo. I've seen the cutscenes. There's nothing about this game that... Look at how Adam is dressed and look at how Eve is dressed. It's not like we have stepped into a universe in Stellar Blade where everyone is just overtly sexual, like in Hades. This is clearly not that. And again, that's fine. But let's just not pretend that... Because my initial take on this article was I hate it. And I still hate it because it's so fucking full of itself. And what's wrong with designing sexy characters for straight men? What the fuck's wrong with that? But they are right in the sense that if you should be able to keep that idea and that criticism in your head and also go, yeah, but they do have a point. They do have a point, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Shut up, Lux. This constant preaching is getting annoying. It reminds me of the church telling people not to read certain books. Just don't read Kotaku. I mean, ultimately, what Kotaku is saying, this is why people have to have open fucking minds, right? Because you need to be able to look at Kotaku and despise a bunch of their horse shit. But you also need to be able to look at them and go, yeah, but here's a part where they have a point. Just like you need, if you're a progressive like me, to look at the MAGA people and say they're full of shit. But there's a couple of points here that they're actually making some sense. That's fucking all I'm saying. The idea that, you know, you got to listen to other people with ideas that you don't like, because that's where you're going to get the juice, man. Do you see that? You see that fucking, we're going to get back to games, I promise. You see that fucking video going around from Columbia University where a bunch of Palestinian protesters were like, zombie-like repeating whatever the head of the protest was saying, and they made a human chain and they were pushing some Jewish students out of a area or something. It's just like, God, what has happened to people? They're supposed to be fucking free thinkers, critical thinkers, man. Who cares? It's just stupid kids. That's the point. That's the future. College is these kids are paying tons of money to go to a university to be prepared to go out into the real world as some of the most educated people in our culture. And they're such fucking pliable, malleable intellects that you should care, because they're the ones who are going to be running the country sooner than later. That's all I'm saying. Look at this. What do you mean, who wrote it? Alyssa Mercant. I don't know who that is. Should I know who that is? Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Before someone says something they will regret. Speaking of, this came across my timeline. Somebody posted a picture of Lara Croft, and somebody said, this has got to be the hottest Lara image I've ever seen. I'm like, you know what? They're not wrong. That's pretty fucking hot. That's pretty fucking good. And then they did another one. Look at this one. That's pretty great, man. It was good to see Lara Croft back in form. I hope. And I don't know many women that would look at this and say this is a problem. Most women would look at this and go, that'd be cool. If I went to the jungle and I was having adventures, assuming that this was, safe, I'd fucking wear that shit. I imagine most women would want to look like this. Again, this is unrealistic beauty standards. I'm not saying that we shouldn't push back on that at times, but in a fantasy setting, I don't know. I think she's hot, and I think most women would look at her and say, I'd love to look like that. I think she looks great. I think she looks super fucking hot, man. Sorry. I guess I'm supposed to be embarrassed by that or something. But I don't, and I'll tell you what, I think this one looks hotter. Isn't that terrible? But fuck you. I don't know. I don't know if I had to choose one. Like, I have these options in my life. If I had to choose one, I'd take the bottom one, though. There you go. She's going home with me, fellas. Sorry. Okay. All right. She does look great. I love the new, again, if it's the new Tomb Raider and it's this with the butt, I'd say, yeah, that's probably a little much. Not that I don't like it and that it's bad or shameful, but then I think it starts to push into that realm of she's just there for the guys. And that's fine, but that's not Lara Croft. But if you just kind of pulled the back of the shorts down, I think we'd have ourselves a fucking winner. is what we would do. Is what we would do. Okay. Let's move on. A lot of girls do love it. And again, it's about balancing. The problem is we have idiots in our culture. We have no media literacy. If people could look at this and go, this is fantasy. Are there women who look like this? Yeah, sure. But they have to fucking starve themselves probably or get cosmetic surgery, and they're obsessed with their looks, and they're probably miserable people to be around because all they are worried about is, did I go over my X number of calories every day? Trust me, I know these people. I know some of them. That said, though, so I do think it's important to kind of be aware of what this represents, and there's so much of it. So I do think it's good that we are seeing pushback, but I think we've pushed back way too fucking far, because I think there are people out there that can recognize this as fantasy, but they have to be the ones who also read the Kotaku article and they go, as annoying as this is, they have some points in this article too. The ones that bother me are the ones that are like, yeah, fuck, you're just dumb, woke. And they don't think about it for more than 10 seconds to realize that both sides of the argument are valid. Not every argument's a both sidesism that is worth your time, but this one is. This one is what I would say. All right, let's move on with our goddamn cockadoodie lives. Look at this. Did you see this? Look at this. Have I changed my mind on Sweet Baby? What about it? What do you? My mind is not changed, because what I've always said about Sweet Baby is, they have a right to exist as a company. They have a right to go out of business or thrive as a company, depending on the free market and what the free market decides they're worth. I don't like some of their tactics. I like that Steam pushed back to some extent and let that group stay up, of, even though the guy admitted he hadn't played all the games, that said these are games that Sweet Baby worked on. I think that's great. But I think if there's a bunch of fucking Nazis out there who I despise, and then they say, we want to go around giving video game companies ways to sneak in dog whistles for neo-Nazis, I think they should be able to exist. As long as they're not breaking the law in America, that's not against the law. Sure, they should be able to exist. Doesn't mean I have to like them. But the minute you go around and start saying this can't be, we have to take this down because we don't like what they represent, that's a real problem, man. That's a real fucking problem. Mario meets Pareto. Don't ask me. I couldn't do math. I'm terrible at math. But it's some kind of economic theory. I do like Sweet Baby's intent at some level. Addie Pie says, so you don't like them. Good. No, it's not good or bad. What someone likes or doesn't like shouldn't affect you at all, unless they push that on you. I like that there is a part of their message that says diversity and inclusion is important at a level of creating fiction, because I believe that. But I don't like the way they send their message, and I don't want to see that message be the only message. But I do think we would be a healthier culture if we had more of that existing in our media. But all of it in the way they want to do it, no, I'm not a fan. But let's get to this. This is fascinating. So, have you seen this? Seriously, I'm going to put this. You can do this as interactive. You can fuck around with this on your own time. I can never beat Spazbo at this game. He's quite good at every game, but certainly this game, Mario Kart. So this guy has used an economic theory to create the ability to take all of the stuff in Mario Kart, the body, tires, glider, driver, and using this economic theory, determine which car, based on how you drive, would be the best for you to win at this game. So it's kind of like Moneyball for Mario Kart, right? So the 4 elements, there's 52 drivers, 41 cars, 22 wheels, 15 gliders, okay? Fuck you, Tits McCoy, you troll fuck. Guys, stop asking him questions on politics and PC culture. You will never get the answer you're looking for. It's flip-flopping central. It's not that it's flip-flopping central to you because you were educated with a banana and an inner tube, you moron. It's nuanced thought. If the only answer is what you want to hear and anything else is flip-flopping, you're a fucking idiot. Stephen Southwick says, free speech is okay, but hate speech isn't. It isn't okay, but it's okay, but it's imperative that it is protected. Like I said, I didn't say Nazis are okay. I said Nazis are horrible. But you know what's even more horrible? I mean, think about how ignorant you are to world history. If you literally are sitting there thinking that to say Nazis are not okay to exist in terms of expressing their ideas, the very nature of saying that is what the Nazis would say. Okay? You can say their speech is allowed, but their actions, if they are illegal, are not. Otherwise, what are you doing? You're building a culture that has a group of people that aren't really elected in a variety of positions that can dictate what you can and can't enjoy, or what you can and can't think. What are you, an idiot? I mean, seriously, what are you, a fucking idiot? You're like those kids at Columbia, unless you're a troll, which you probably are. I wish AI could recognize who's trolling. Nothing ever came out of the Nazis that was good, you moron. That's the point. But they still deserve the right to express their stupid fucking views in America. Because if we get rid of that right, then who's next? Who gets to decide who's next? Well, I shouldn't be teaching Civics 101 unless you happen to be like 15, Tits McCoy. Good God. 52 drivers, 41 cars, 22 wheels, and 15 gliders. That gives you 703,000 builds in Mario Kart 8. Truthfully, though, that only gives you about 25,000 that are not stylistic. Everything else, like functionally, there are 25,704 builds in Mario Kart 8 that will determine your ability to drive in a certain way. So this is an economic formula that will help you figure out, based on the economist Vilfredo Pareto, which car that you should drive based on how you like to drive. And you can play with this online, right? So you can put in your driver. So let's say if you want the best body, and you make trade-offs between speed and acceleration, but you're like, no, I want to make trade-offs between speed and handling. Boom. It does that for you, right? It tells you exactly the car, the body that you want. If you want the best driver for that, boom. You want to go for Baby Daisy. The worst driver for that would be Bowser, okay? It gets deeper, though. It gets deeper because you got three things you got to look at, right? You got to actually look at acceleration and speed and driver. Okay, so watch this. They split it up into 3D. You can play with this tool. It's really fucking cool. So now you can say, let me get to the next interactive part. Now you can go to that tool and you can say, if you're a skilled player, you need to build you want to put, let's say, for me, it would be speed and handling. That's what matters to me, right? And then, let's see, the mini turbo has also been added. Okay, so now it comes at a cost. As a rule of thumb, the size of the front end expands exponentially. Okay, so as in the 2D case, you have to put weights on each dimension to reveal the optimal build. Open the dialog below and find the best build. Okay, so here it is right here. It's the bottom. So I think my most important thing is I'm going to say handling. And then I'm going to say speed. And then I'm going to say acceleration. If that's how I like to play, Luigi is my character that I want. And then where's the body, though? I want to see the body. Oh, there it is, right there. Sorry. Come back, Luigi. Come back. Handling, speed, acceleration. So we want Luigi, whatever this body is. We want the cloud glider, and we want the red roller skate wheels. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? You can just use this to win. I mean, it's not. You still got to be good. You can use that though to help you in your game. I'm serious. I'm streaming games tonight. I may stream Mario Kart just because I want to try this. If you want to try it and build a build and see if you can take on Jaffy, there you go. It's up on the thing. All right, let's move on, shall we? Yeah, we've seen this story. This was a big weekend story. We're over it now, but it leads me to think about something real quick. Microsoft's Xbox has taken over Sony's PlayStation Store. It's hyperbole, but I mean it's true. In that you've got right now in the top 10, you've got Call of Duty, which is owned by Microsoft, Overwatch 2, Microsoft, Sea of Thieves, Fallout 4, Minecraft, Fallout 76, and Grounded. But again, I mean, we know what we're talking. I mean, they bought their way into this, and Sea of Thieves and Grounded are great. I don't imagine Grounded's going to stay up top very long, but it's a new game, and Sony's done a real rotten job at putting out a bunch of new games that are sustainable and long-lasting, except Helldivers. But it did get me thinking, though. No joke. I wonder if Steam is ever going to go the way of GeForce. And I looked this up, and I couldn't find any evidence that they're working on this. And I can't imagine they haven't thought about it. But to let people who like to stream games and can stream games stream their Steam library, I think would be amazing. And then you could imagine Steam being on PlayStation or Xbox. I mean, again, you have to stream, but I'm telling you, man, that all that footage I showed earlier in the show about No Rest for the Wicked, all of that was off GeForce. All of it was streaming. It's getting more and more possible for more and more people to enjoy streaming at the highest level and not even notice it, at least on certain kinds of games. I don't know why this... Has anybody in the chat heard of this? Are they thinking of doing this? Have they ever talked about streaming Steam as an option? Just like Game Pass does, just like GeForce does? Because I think that would be fucking amazing, fellas and filettes. I think it would be awesome. Okay. All right. I'm going to save some of this for the later shows. Yeah. I'm going to save the rest of this for later. It's getting late in the day, and I have some editing to do. I wish I could be more accepting, says Steven. I wasn't implying what you think. I live in the UK and we have laws on hate speech, and what happened at Columbia shouldn't be allowed to happen. Yeah, sure. But again, that's a different stream. Anyway, I'll move on. Last thing I want to show you guys, I just think this is cool. This may exist, and I'm not a big music aficionado, and this is not really about video games, but I saw this thing called Splitter FM, and my son, who's very into music, had not heard about it. Okay. So maybe this is newish. I don't fucking know, but it's the band Lawrence made it, but apparently it is, and I can't play it because I don't want to get sued or anything, but it'll give you all the stems from hit songs, or anybody who puts their songs up there. And that's kind of cool, right? So you can play this song and you can mute everything except, let's just let the horns play, right? Again, this isn't really a game thing, but it's cool. So, right? And this is just the horns. Right, but if I want to kind of get rid of the horns and I want to say, let me just hear background vocals. Okay, cool.
Goodbye.
Right, that's it. Okay. Now, here's the cool part, though. These little dots are comments where you can ask the band or the writers, the creators about, it's like director's commentary, but for music. So you can go in and say, and it's not tied just to this band. It's asking who's doing the vocals. What was the inspiration for this? It's like a little masterclass on a specific song. And it's not very big yet. It's relatively new, but if you go to it, you can see the various bands that are currently using it. And there's not many. There's like 20 right now. But it's cool. If you're into music, it's pretty fucking cool. I'm not even that into music, but I think it's neat to be able to take a song apart just at the stem level and play around with it. So give it a look if you want. It's splitter.fm. Okay. As we do, I'm going to go to the chat for the last few minutes and just kind of talk about whatever you guys want to talk about at this point. I am not out of topics, but I'm out of energy. This is, yeah, I'm not, you know, I mean, we can talk about this if you want, but you guys know how I feel. The idea of being in a country where certain speech is not allowed, I think is a real problem. But I also think it's a real problem that, you know, we have a bunch of fucking idiots. I would not want what they have in the UK, but what I would like is better education like they have in the UK. The people in the UK are better educated than we are. And the people in the UK have much better consumer protections than we do. We absolutely would love that over here, but I don't want their speech laws. But that's dumb. Fupy says speech has violent consequences, though. We've already made violent consequences illegal. And if speech incites violent consequences, then it's not protected. But you have to show it incited violent consequences. Did I try Maniac the video game? Yeah, I put up a kind of a playthrough, play-ish review kind of thing. I enjoyed it. It wasn't very long-lasting for me, but I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. Talk about Mark Kearns. I don't know Mark Kearns. I've interviewed him once. I think it's kind of creepy that he seems to have gone all in on just posting shit about wokeism, but maybe he's making money. Maybe he's just vibing on the money he makes from Twitter with getting people connecting with his stuff and reading it, and suddenly he makes more money. I don't know. But he seems like really obsessed with it. Like, dude, take a breath. Who gives a shit? You're a grown-ass man. If you're that hard up, find a real woman, find a sex worker, find some porn, relax. Relax. I don't understand why he's so unless he's just doing it as a grift. January 6th, you're saying January 6th led to January 6th? Okay, but people who broke the law are getting arrested for January 6th. And if it is found that Donald Trump incited January 6th, then he will, I don't know if that's one of his indictments. People have accused him of it. Then that'll land him in some trouble as well. But the problem is you can't put the cart before the horse. Putting the cart before the horse is basically saying, here's the things you can't say. That way you don't have to deal with it when somebody says them. It's a real problem because who gets to decide what the cart is? I wish woke people would focus on shit that matters, like the dwindling middle class, all-time high self-deletions. Can't you just say suicide? Why is self-deletion the new term? It's ridiculous. And I won't stop calling it an insurrection unless you can prove to me why it's not. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to call it, that's what we're talking about. Look, the woke and the non-woke are both problematic when it comes to this stuff. And the fact of the matter is the dwindling middle class, they're all responsible for it. You think the Republicans are not responsible for the dwindling middle class? Of course they are. But, you know, so is Clinton. I mean, I don't know what he was supposed to have done though. When it comes to forget what the deal was when we started opening up and doing more business globally, and there was a big deal when he was in office that he signed some global trade thing. You know, it's all that. It's all these super fucking rich people can make more money, and the middle class gets shoved out. And, you know, it's what we, you know, and again, it's not, you can't be mad at the voters. You know, we have a republic. We vote people in that are supposed to represent us, but, you know, it's political, and we should get rid of lobbyists, but we can't. It's, yeah, NAFTA, that's what it was. It's bad. Why do you, CW, are you, I mean, aren't you tired of this? You know what it was. You know what it was. Did everybody who showed up at the Capitol that day want to take over the government? No. Did everybody who stormed the Capitol or who walked into the Capitol being given a guard think they were breaking the law? Hard to say. Were there a lot of people that were there that were shouting people should be hung and tearing up offices, stealing things, breaking windows, and talking about let's take our government back? Yeah, there were. So will I concede that not every single person there is the same? Yes, I will. But you have to also concede that these just weren't a bunch of fucking tourists who decided to hang out at the Capitol and got bamboozled. I mean, come on. And ask yourself the idea that people are like, oh, Antifa was the... Why? What benefit would the Democrats have with this? To what end would they want Antifa to make this into a riot? Were these specific people there? They really needed them arrested? I mean, what? It's just none of it makes sense. I don't know, man. It's just, I'm tired of it, and you should be tired of it too. Can't we just like accept that we're all being manipulated by these people in power on any given day? So they could blame Trump for the insurrection. They had just won the election. The whole point was that the inauguration was about to happen. What value would blaming Trump for the insurrection be? And look, I'll tell you something. I mean, I hate to get into all this. I mean, I clearly don't because I'm doing it. But I can't do it anymore. I just can't. I can't. All you guys are doing is spewing talking points from your camps. You need to get wise enough to realize that both camps are lying to us. Both camps want to control and make money off of us. Stop thinking you have the skinny or the monopoly on the truth. You don't. You know what you're allowed to know. And that's it. And then you got to deal with the trolls who are muddying the water because it's fun for them. So just, you know. Okay. Jaffy only talk about I rarely talk about politics on this channel anymore because I know people come here for games. But it's the end of the show. It was a long show. It's free chat. Fuck you. I don't turn a blind eye towards hate speech. I don't turn any blind eyes. But I'm going to I want to live in a country where people can say what the fuck they want. Okay, what did Striking Distance just put out? You're saying Striking Distance just released a trailer? Of what? Isn't that a, what did they work on? I know that studio. Let me see, Distance. That's a movie, Striking Distance developer. Let's see. Oh yeah, get rid of Citizens United, 100%. Okay, they did Callisto, and now what do they have? They have a new game out? Let me see. Well, yeah, but Callisto Protocol. Okay, Project Birdseye, that from a month ago. Kingdom Come I've never played. I'm not really all that interested in that. Yeah, which game are you guys talking about? I'm happy to go there and look at their trailer, but I don't know what you're talking about. The last thing that went up was something called Project Birdseye, which was over a month ago. Is that what you guys are talking about? Here, I'll put it up. I'll put it up so you guys can see. Hang on. Okay. Un momento. Okay, this is Project Birdseye. I'm going to leave the sound off, though. Addy Pie, thank you, buddy. 11 months. Why do you like Taylor Swift so much? She's mid, just like her music. I don't really come to you for musical theory, Addy Pie. Thank you for your ducats and your support, though, buddy. But why? I don't know. I like her hooks. I like her melodies. I like some of her lyrics. That's why. I don't know. Why do you like eating your mother's vagina every night before you go to bed? I mean, is it what's the value of that? She's very mid. Trust me, I've been down there, and I got paid for it. Looks okay. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's, you know. It is foul. I know it's foul, Addy Pie. But again, paycheck's paycheck. That looks fun, you know. I mean, I've played a million games like it, but, you know, it looks fun. Yeah, Nawdog says it's run of the mill. I mean, yeah, there's nothing about it that I'm like, oh my fucking God. But it's, you know, I'll keep an eye on it. All right, fellas, there you go. Be well. That was a Gabbin' and Games for your Monday. I will be back certainly Wednesday. I'm going to be streaming something possibly tonight. I got to figure out what it's going to be. What should I stream tonight? What do people want to what do people want to play? What do you guys want to play? I'm not playing Rebirth right now. I got to finish the first one, and I probably never will. Let's see. What's good? What's good to play? I mean, I could do No Rest for the Wicked. I'm not doing Twisted Metal. No, I'm going to play first-person games. Like what? What should I play? Yeah, maybe I'll do Mario Kart. I'm over Helldivers right now. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. I'll look into that. Halo Infinite. I haven't played that in a while. Dead Island 2, I know they've released a new update, but I got very bored very quickly of the first Dead Island or the Dead Island 2 core game. And so I'm really not high to drop $30 just to play another mode. So yeah, I'll probably do Mario Kart or Fortnite. Film Gamer X, that's a good point. Yeah, Fortnite. I've been enjoying that a lot. All right, cool. All right, well, I'll be streaming something tonight. Meantime, guys, be safe. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for the memberships, super chats, the company. Don't forget, Lunch with Jaffy's coming up on Thursday. So if you want to be a member here or at the Patreon, it's a good time to sign up. The Patreon will be going up later today for that membership tier. It's only $9.99 over there. $14.99 here at the YouTube. And hopefully I'll see some of you guys on Thursday. We'll be eating lunch, shooting the shit, hanging out. Until then, though, seriously, be safe. Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you soon.